Every now and then I go to a water and I walk on it and you just get this feel. I think it's something to do with just big fish, that electric feel in the air, and Horton's got it, you know, in heaps. It weren't even really the stock, I just wanted to come here, take in the atmosphere. Over the years I've read magazines, I've read books, and there's stories about Horton. And like when I spoke to friends about fishing here, and they say, oh, I just want to go there and sit on the banks. And that's what it's like. The first session I come here, I didn't even really look for any fish. I went to a swim called the Salt Circle because it faced the church. And I just fished because I was happy to be at Horton and just take in the soaking history of the place. When you walk through the door in the Horton Lodge, the walls are plastered with big carp photos. And you know, you walk around looking at them, you can't help it. Every time I come here, I find one draws me attention. I see one I ain't seen before. If it don't get you going, nothing will. This lodge has got, you know, leather sofas, pool table, 50-inch telly on the wall, full fitted kitchen, showers, toilets. It's lovely down here, you know, like it's pure luxury. I've spent the last probably 10 years fishing for single carp. So I go to a lake and there'll be one, maybe two 40s, so I'm targeting a fish. But it was nice to come to Horton because there's so many big fish. If a big one comes out, it ain't a case of, oh, I've got to look for somewhere else to fish for a month because that ain't going to make another mistake so quick. There's a lot of big fish in here, so I'm just fishing for what comes along, and it just happens that there's a lot of big carp, so when it does come along, it's big. The lake itself is about 14 acres, quite weedy. One end's a lot shallower than the other, but there's a lot of dips, troughs, gravel bars, loads of weed, loads of big fish. It's got everything you want in carp fishing. You've got to have your eyes on water at first light because they'll give themselves away, but quite often after first light I won't see another fish all day. Don't get me wrong, if I haven't seen one in half an hour, I'll then go on weather conditions. Are they on the wind? Is it a cold wind? Are they on the back of the wind? Just building on experience that I've picked up over 30 years of carp fishing. And I'll just use my eyes, my ears, walk around, try and find them. If I can't, then I go on a hunch, a bit of sixth sense. So far, I've done 11 nights and I've sort of hit the ground running. I managed 4 bites in the first 3 nights, and I thought, you know, I'm going to do all right here. And then I went for a month without a bite. So I had to change a few things, and that was really my mobility. I started to react more to the fish, and someone going onto a new water or even here, you know, so use your eyes and your ears all the time, and you know, keep looking all the time. Even the thing like the aeroplanes, if I'm going to cast at fish, I wait till one of them big planes is coming across because it's disguising the sound of the lead hitting the water. I put hook baits on, and I'm not plumbing or anything like that. I'll cast 25 yards past them, drop the lead in, reel it back and bring it down nice and quietly over the top of them. I might put a couple of pouchfuls of bait over them. And then the bites have been coming morning time, so I leave that then to at least 11:30, 12, and try not to move. I get quite itchy feet, like I want to move all the time. So I know that's cost me a couple of fish this year already. So lately I've been sitting put till midday, then deciding where I'm going to go. If the fish are still there, I'll stay there. If they ain't, then I'm off. The water on Horton is gin clear, and you know, like, I know for a fact they can see a lot what's going on. When I've managed to observe the carp so far this year, they've realised there's a rig in the area. They haven't spooked out of it, but they've spent a lot of time, you know, flanking the area, almost giving out warning signs. So it's definitely made me change my approach, coming shorter off the spots so I ain't got line running through the area. I caught fish on my first night. I had 2 20-pounders, over 21 pound. And I remember I had a couple more sessions where I lost one in a snag. My next fish was another 20-pounder, and I remember thinking, bloody hell, like, there's all these big fish in Horton and I haven't had a big one out of 3. Then the rod went again and I had a 40-pound 10, so I was well chuffed, like. And then about an hour later I had a 44. And then I've gone on a bit of a run since then, landed another 3 40s, up to 46 pounds, 12 ounces. So the fish I've caught so far have all come on a braided main line. I'm using that purely because of the weed, and it's given me a lot of strength. I'm convinced there's a couple of the fish I've had I wouldn't have landed on mono. I've fished waters in the past, one particular water where people were only landing like 1 in 3 fish, and I went on there had 13 takes and landed 12 fish. So I was so confident that when you've got that weed, the braid just cuts through it. And you know, I think it's a much safer option than nylon. If I had my own lake and it was weedy, I would make people use braid. It's going to give me a much better chance of landing big fish. When I'm fishing weed, I have to lose the lead. It makes everything easier. The fish comes in easier. The weed goes to the fish's head and not the lead, so you ain't got the same strain on the hook link. It's just, you know, it is a must. I've been using the HeliSafe, and in my opinion, it's probably the best invention in carp fishing for about the last 10 years, because, you know, you've got the option of losing the lead or not, which is brilliant. And if you want to lose it, it comes off lovely. You know, as soon as that bottom bead slides down and releases the lead, you're free of the lead. Fish safety is paramount, and I like the chod system because if I was unlucky enough to lose one above the lead core, the bead's only got to pop off and it's swimming around with a 2-inch hook link in its mouth instead of dragging the lead core around. So it's a brilliant system, and we know it works. Key to my success so far, if I'm honest, has been hard work. I just get here and I work from the second I get here to the second I go home. I've moved swims with an hour to go. You know, if an hour to go, 5 minutes in the right swim's better than 24 hours in the wrong swim, and I always remember that, and I just, repetition as well. I'd actually had a month of blanking, but I didn't let it put me off. It was just repetition, keep coming down one night a week, keep going, keep baiting little spots. And sooner or later you get lucky, everyone does, so I just keep working at it and it will come good. Probably my favourite fish so far was one last week. I got down here and the lake was really quiet. By midday I was the only one on it, so I got the rods out, put a bit of bait out, and I literally got in the bivvy and zipped the door up. I woke up at 8 o'clock to an absolute one-toner. Really good scrap, and this fish came into the net and it was black from nose to tail, real beautiful carp. 40 pound 4 ounces. Really chuffed with that one. Don't want to seem big-headed, but I know this lake can turn around and kick you in the balls at any point, you know. I'm just going to keep continuing to try and do good. If I have to change tactics, I will. The highlight of Horton so far for me is catching Tom Dubb's target fish. He kept going on about it, and there she is. What a beauty. Looks like Tom as well.